But then comes the Hebrew scroll. It walks in quiet and confident. No hype, no hustle, just truth. It states in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Period. No co-authors, no tag team, no rival gods throwing lightning bolts, just one. Unchallenged, unopposed, unbothered. Welcome to Coffee and Jesus, where we sip the word slow, break it down real good, and serve up theology that your spirit and your mind can both digest. Now listen, have you ever skipped the first page of a book because you thought the real story starts several pages into the book? If that applies to you when it comes to the book of Genesis, let me tell you, you have been skipping past a whole literary masterpiece. Genesis 1 is not just an origin story. It is not just theology. It is a statement, a literary mic drop, a divine plot twist before the characters even walk on the stage. So grab your coffee, your journal, your highlighter. We are not sipping milk today, guys. Let's chew on some meat. Now let me say this loud for the people in the back. Genesis 1:1 is not a soft launch into scripture. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Before there was a who, what, why, there was God. And he said, let there be. That is not a warm-up. That is not divine small talk. That is God stepping on the scene saying, this is my story. I wrote it. I run this. Okay. In ancient Near East, folks believe in a whole buffet of gods. Everybody and their mama had a god for something. They had a sun god, a moon god, a dirt god, rain god. They believed that the world was run by divine drama, a cosmic soap opera of jealous deities throwing hands over territory and thunder. Creation in their eyes was a result of conflict, a divine street fight in the sky. But then comes the Hebrew scroll. It walks in quiet and confident. No hype, no hustle, just truth. It states in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Period. No co-authors, no tag team, no rival gods throwing lightning bolts, just one. Unchallenged, unopposed, unbothered. Not gods, but one God. Not a committee, not a debate, not a blood-soaked birth of the universe. Just a word spoken. And the world bowed. That one sentence, it is not just a soft open. It is a literary coup. It dethrones polytheism. It upends the myths. It throws shade at every ancient empire's theology. And it hands the pen to one divine author. In the beginning, God. Not a God of storms, not a God of hills, but the God of everything. Above it, before it, beyond it. And that right there, that is not just theology. That is revolution. Because monotheism was not popular. It was disruptive. And Genesis 1 is not trying to blend in or compromise. It came to unseat idols. It came to disrupt traditions. It came to rewrite what power looks like. So when you read the first verse, do not skim it like it's some kind of foreword. It is a mic drop, a whole theological protest in one sentence. In the beginning, God, not a placeholder, not a guess, not a metaphor. That is a holy announcement that this world is not an accident. It is authored intentionally, lovingly, sovereignly. And if he wrote the beginning, then that means he holds the middle and he governs the ending. So no matter how chaotic your life looks right now, you are not at the mercy of small gods with big egos. You are in the care of the same God who opened his mouth and made galaxies fall in line. Now that's not folklore. This is theology with receipts. So the next time you read Genesis 1:1, don't rush past it. Let it thunder in your soul. In the beginning, God. That was not just the start. That was God's bold announcement. And everything else answers to that. Okay, now verse 2 says, now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. The earth was formless and empty. in Hebrew. That is not poetic fluff. That is a diagnosis. This is the moment before order, before beauty, before form. It is chaos. And what is the Spirit of God doing? God is hovering. He's not scrambling. He's not reacting, just hovering. And right there, that is a whole word, because sometimes the Spirit does not fix an issue immediately. Sometimes the Spirit just hovers. It prepares. It waits for the word to be spoken. The entire narrative structure of Genesis is built on this movement, from chaos to cosmos, from void to vision. The shape of the text mimics the shape of God's activity. Genesis is not chaos. It is organized theology. The 6-day creation account is not random. It is layered, symmetrical, intentional. Day 1 through 3, God forms the environment. Day 1, light from darkness. Day 2, sky from sea. Day 3, land and plants. These are not just events. These are domains, crafted spaces with divine borders. Day 4 through 6, God feels what he formed. Day 4, sun, moons, and stars. Day 5, birds and sea creatures. Day 6, land and humankind. This is not divine improv. This is design with dignity. God does not create mess. He is type A about his creation. So type A, in fact, that he created structure within structure. He does not just create, he categorizes, he separates, he names, he blesses. Every God said is a narrative beat. Every repetition, a liturgical rhythm. And God said, and it was so. And God saw that it was good. That is not lazy writing. That is sacred poetry. That is a statement with purpose. It is meant to be remembered. It is meant to be repeated. It is meant to be revered. Now, up until this point, Genesis moves with rhythm. And God said, and it was so, and God saw that it was good. That rhythm has carried us through light, land, sea, stars, and every creeping thing. But when we get to the humanity, God pauses. God speaks differently. God creates differently. Genesis 1:26 says, then God said, let us make mankind in our image and our likeness. Let's dig into that, okay? Because God did not say that about trees. He did not say that about the ocean, the constellations, or the birds in the sky. He only said that about humanity. Only you. This is the moment where the divine rhythm breaks and it moves into the direction of divine intimacy. This is no longer a poetic repetition. This is personal revelation. You are imago Dei, which means the image of God, not just made by God. You are made to reflect God's character. You were formed with dignity, designed with distinction, breathed into with intentionality. God sculpted you with sovereignty in mind. God blessed you before you had a title, a role, or a resume. You were not mass produced. You were handcrafted. And that means your identity is not in what you do. It is in who you reflect. So let this be your reminder. You're not random. You are not left over. You are not low value. You are the climax of a creation story authored by God himself. And listen, that alone would be powerful. To be made in God's image, to carry the divine imprint. But God does not stop there. Genesis 1:28 says, God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and every living creature that moves on the ground. Let's pause there. God blessed them, and then he gave them a mandate. This was not just a poetic charge, it was a divine commission. Be fruitful, multiply, steward, rule. But don't rule like Rome. Not through domination, not through empires, not by force or fear. God's rule was never about conquering. It was about caring. It was about co-laboring. It was about reflecting his care in creation. This is not a license to dominate. It is an invitation to cultivate, to build, to bless, to belong. This is not a hierarchy of power. This is a rhythm of holiness, a sacred cycle of stewardship, where dominion does not mean supremacy. It means responsibility. Okay, and that was a lot. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. Genesis 1 is not some flat, dry account of how things came to be. It is not filler. It's not background. It's not just a prologue. It is a narrative carefully constructed. It begins with chaos. It builds with rhythm. It reaches a climax. And then it ends with a blessing. This is not just God as a creator. This is God as an author. This is God as a narrator, not just an engineer. God who does not just build things, he writes them. He writes rhythm. He writes revelation. He writes redemption into the very fabric of the world that he just made. And that means you do not just live in God's world. You live in God's story. So the next time your life feels like tohu vavohu, formless and void, the next time you feel like everything is out of order, too messy, too late, remember the same God who hovered over the deep is still hovering now, still speaking, still creating. And hear me clearly, God does not need a perfect beginning to write a perfect ending. Okay, so that's enough for today. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Coffee and Jesus. And if your pen is hot from taking notes and your spirit is full, go ahead and share this video. Tag me and tell somebody we are not playing with these scriptures over here, okay? Check out the rest of my videos and remember to sip the word slow, speak the word, stand on the word, stay blessed, stay curious, and keep doing all the things with grace and with God.
It's a time with Jesus. It's a time.